The moment you fall asleep, something shifts in your environment that you never consciously experience, and your cat responds to that shift in ways that are far more deliberate than most people realize. What feels like stillness to you becomes a completely different kind of signal to your cat, and that signal changes how they perceive you in real time. When your breathing slows and your body becomes motionless, your cat does not simply relax alongside you, but instead transitions into a heightened state of awareness that is driven by instinct rather than comfort. In that state, every small detail about you becomes more noticeable, more important, and more worth investigating. And here's where it becomes interesting, because to your cat, you have not become peaceful. You have become unpredictable in a way that requires attention. You are no longer reacting, no longer controlling the environment, and that absence of response creates a kind of uncertainty that animals are wired to analyze. So instead of disengaging, your cat moves closer in a controlled and intentional way, not to seek affection as humans might assume, but to gather information from the most revealing parts of your body. Your face, your breathing patterns, and even the smallest shifts in your posture become data points that your cat quietly processes. Have you ever noticed how your cat seems unusually focused on your face when you are asleep? Almost as if they are trying to understand something that is not visible during the day? That behavior is not passive, but part of a deeper instinct that prioritizes observation when something familiar becomes slightly unfamiliar. As your body enters deeper stages of sleep, your scent begins to change in subtle ways that humans cannot detect, but that cats are highly sensitive to, and this creates a version of you that is biologically different from your waking state. To your cat, you are not simply resting. You are transitioning into something quieter and less predictable, which naturally draws their attention. This is why some cats will lightly touch your face or hair while you sleep, not in a purely affectionate way, but as a controlled test to confirm whether you will respond to their presence. They are not interrupting you, they are checking you, and that distinction changes how the behavior should be understood. If there is no response, your cat does not immediately lose interest, but instead continues observing, adjusting their position slightly, and maintaining awareness of your breathing and movement patterns. This ongoing observation is part of a larger behavioral system that prioritizes safety and environmental control. Now consider this carefully, because it changes the entire interpretation of what is happening. If your cat is most attentive to you when you are unconscious, then their behavior is not driven by interaction, but by instinctive evaluation. And instinctive evaluation is always more honest than behavior that occurs during active interaction. As the night continues, your cat does not remain still for long periods, but instead repositions themselves in subtle ways that reflect continuous adjustments to their surroundings. These movements may appear casual, but they are actually part of a constant recalibration of safety and awareness within their environment. You might assume your cat is simply choosing comfortable spots, but what they are really doing is mapping space in relation to you, the room, and any changes they detect. That mapping process becomes more active, specifically because you are no longer participating in the environment in the usual way. At certain moments, your cat may choose to sit directly on you, which is often interpreted as affection, but also serves a functional purpose tied to elevation and stability. From that position, they gain both physical advantage and a clearer awareness of their surroundings, which aligns with their natural instincts. Why do cats consistently seek higher ground when they are alert or uncertain? And why does that instinct appear even in familiar environments where no obvious threat exists? Because elevation is not only about safety, but about control, and control is something your cat continuously seeks, even in subtle situations. Now here is something that most people overlook entirely. Cats are naturally most active during the exact periods when humans are asleep, meaning your night is their peak time for awareness and engagement. While you experience quiet and stillness, your cat experiences heightened sensitivity to movement, sound, and environmental changes that you are completely unaware of. If this is starting to shift how you think about your cat's behavior, it is worth paying attention to these patterns more closely because they reveal something deeper than surface-level interaction. And if you want to understand how to actually use this awareness to build trust, subscribe now because this channel has the complete guide to understanding your cat. Even when your cat appears to rest during the night, their sleep is fundamentally different from yours, remaining light and reactive rather than deep and disconnected. This allows them to respond instantly to changes, including subtle variations in your breathing or small movements that occur without waking you. You may notice moments where your cat suddenly becomes alert, reacts briefly, and then returns to stillness, as if responding to something invisible. These reactions are often triggered by stimuli outside human perception, such as faint sounds or movements that your cat can detect, but you cannot. So while you believe the environment is inactive, your cat is experiencing a far more dynamic version of reality that includes layers of information you never register. And within that layered environment, you are one of the most important elements, even in your most passive state. Eventually, your cat returns to a position near you, not simply out of habit, but because you represent a stable reference point in an environment that is constantly being reassessed. That stability matters, but it is interpreted through instinct rather than emotion. This is where most misunderstandings happen, because people assume nighttime closeness always reflects affection, when in reality, it often reflects a balance between curiosity, awareness, and measured trust. Your cat is not projecting human emotions onto the situation, but responding in a way that aligns with their biological priorities. And here's the final idea that ties everything together. The way your cat behaves when you are asleep is not influenced by your reactions, your voice, or your attempts to interact. It is the most unfiltered version of their behavior, shaped entirely by instinct and perception. So, if your cat chooses to stay close, observe calmly, and remain near you throughout the night, that behavior reflects a level of comfort that has been quietly built over time. But if they remain distant, alert, or consistently avoid proximity, that also reflects something real, something that is easy to overlook during the day. The next time you wake up and your cat is already there, already watching, already aware of your smallest movements, it is worth considering how long they have been there and what they have been observing. Because understanding that version of your cat, the one that exists when you are not actively present, might be the key to understanding everything else about your relationship. And if you want to go deeper into what your cat is really thinking, not just at night, but in every interaction you have with them, watch the next video. Because once you start noticing these patterns, they become impossible to ignore. And if you want to go deeper into what your cat is really thinking, not just at night, but in every interaction you have,